one of my good friends is Alfredo Ortiz, who runs a group called Job Creators Network, and I'm proud to serve on the board of that organization. They do an amazing job really advocating for good policy that will help our 30 million small businessmen and women around the country. It's more than just saying. It is absolutely true that these men and women are the people who are the backbone of our economy. They're the employers in our country. They're the ones who take the risk. They're the heroes. And speaking of heroes, Alfredo, thanks so much for joining.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
So I've got a lot I want to talk to you about, Alfredo. I appreciate you taking some time on a Saturday afternoon. We are live, by the way, folks, and we will be taking more of your calls later in the hour. But Alfredo, assess for me, if you would, how you think the Trump policies that have been put in place, and I know you played a big role in helping the big, beautiful bill get passed, and so appreciate your efforts on that. How is this impacting our small businesses?
I'll tell you, the Trump administration is such a breath of fresh air versus the disaster that we had in the Biden administration. I mean, to this date, Steve, I still can't tell you what the name of the small business administrator was under the Biden administration. I mean, that's how bad
Right.
it was. I mean, I don't think
I don't know who it was.
saw her. I mean,
Yeah.
It's really pathetic, right? But no, it's great. And look, what Donald Trump has laid out, I mean, I can't imagine that he's done so much in 6 months, but it's just really amazing. But in particular on business in general, and small business in particular, right? This three-legged stool strategy of his, where he's tackled trade through tariffs, overall, what he's doing with all the
Yes.
tariffs, and that's all resolving itself, and it's great. And,
Yes.
which is incredible. The second part of that, three-legged stool really is deregulation. I mean, everybody has to remember that, regulation is a tax. And under the Biden administration, our businesses had about $2 trillion of taxes that they were burdened with, and especially our small businesses. And then on the
What
third,
was that? What was that
really
number? What was that number?
$2 trillion.
$2 trillion.
That's
$2
trillion T. Yes.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it's crazy, right? And so, look, Donald Trump understands that really killed business. And then third was really under the one big beautiful bill, the one big part of it is the tax cuts, right? First of all, extending the great work that you and I had done on the tax, during the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act on the first one, which is the 20% deduction, making that permanent, but almost more importantly, making this one permanent as well, is the 100% immediate expensing for investments. That is a game changer. So this three-legged stool strategy is so powerful for our economy. And look, at the end of the day, it all translates into one word, which is jobs. It's American jobs for American workers, and that's what Donald Trump is about. And in our small businesses, we are excited. They are excited to invest back into their businesses. But I will tell you, Steve, they're not as excited about one thing, high interest rates. And too slow Powell has to get it through his thick skull that in September, we've got to drop those rates by at least half a point. And we're over 2 points above the rest of the world now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I agree with you on these points about all the things that Trump has done for these small businessmen and women. And they are really, they struggle day after day, week after week, month after month, making a profit. And the Biden administration was almost the enemy of small business. I gave a speech the other day, Alfredo, and I want your reaction to this. But, I asked, there were about 200 small business men and women in the room. And we talked about taxes and regulations. And then I said, well, I want to do a poll of you in this room because they are all employers. I said, which is a worse burden to you right now? Is it the taxes you pay or the regulations you have to comply with? And you know what they said, Alfredo?
The regulations.
Yes. I was surprised.
Yes.
They said the regulations are just killing us. They're choking us. They're strangling us.
Yeah. Yep. You know why I think, Steve, that is? Because you can kind of work around taxes. You incorporate it. You make things more efficient. You buy maybe a machine that makes you more productive. But when it comes to regulation, it literally prevents you from doing business. And that's the thing, right? You just can't. Imagine what during the EPA. I mean, thank goodness, right, that we have Lee Zeldin in as the EPA administrator, because what he has already done has been amazing. And being able to unleash the economy through getting rid of some of these regulations under the EPA has just been tremendous. But, again, $2 trillion is what the economy had been burdened with. And those are taxes. right, on our businesses, our large, medium, and small businesses.
Ah, Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant.
Whoa, that's refreshing.
And a 9.5 plus pH for every way you move.
I did take a Spain class today.
Restoring like a pro. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
They say to only bring what you can carry. So with the all-new 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor, bring a lot. Like 3 dirt bikes, a few tents, an entire crew ready to make memories. A panoramic 24-inch display, and the confidence to push your limits. The all-new 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor.
Always consult the owner's manual before off-road driving. Know your terrain and trail difficulty and use appropriate safety gear. Max payload varies based on accessories and vehicle configuration. See label on door jamb for carrying capacity of a specific vehicle. Always properly secure cargo.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Oh, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
One thing that Biden did that I found really insidious was his hiring of these tens of thousands of additional IRS agents. And you and I talked about this when Biden was president.
Right.
But the last thing this country needs is more IRS agents. We need fewer of them. We need a simpler tax system that everybody can comply with. Because, look, Americans are honest people. We will comply if we can understand the system and if it isn't totally Byzantine and like it's written in Greek, the tax code. So how's that going? I don't understand why we've had like 4 or 5 different IRS commissioners under Trump so far. It seems like we need to get someone in there in the IRS who will clean this system up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I truly do understand that, but I have to tell you, I have sat in the room with some of these folks that write these laws and write these regulations and stuff like that. I mean, we kind of do it to ourselves sometimes, right, Steve? We just overcomplicate life. We have exclusions and exceptions upon the exceptions, and we have lobbyists to come in. I mean, we just got to clean this up, make it simple, like you said. You and I have always talked about we got to simplify our tax code because it's just ridiculous the way where it is right now. And there is a simpler system. I know you've always advocated for a simpler system. And I won't speak for you, but I know it's fair tax, and I don't know why we don't have more movement on that.
So, how would you describe? I'm talking to the great Alfredo Ortiz, who runs a great group that advocates for small businesses. It's called the Job Creators Network, and that's what small businesses are. They're job creators. And how I know you do polls of your members, and also you talk to your members every day. How would you describe their mood right now? Are they feeling optimistic? What's the attitude of the average small business owner today?
Yeah, they're definitely feeling optimistic. Look, I mean, a lot of our small businesses were actually really, truly counting on these tax cuts to happen so that they could make the investments. I mean, one of our small business owners, who's also one of our board members, you met him the other day at our meetings, right? Down in Miami, has a wonderful, wonderful Cuban restaurant. He had already, started making investments of over $2 million that's going to lead to 1,000 new jobs. Wow. 2 different investments, actually, so $4 million. And he basically said, he turned to me at the White House when we were celebrating the one big, beautiful bill. He said to me, he goes, boy, I'm sure glad this went through because I pretty much already made my investment counting on it. So, so I just think, I mean, the back half, I know that you and Kevin Haas have talked about 3 and 4% GDP growth in the back half. I can see that. Because our small business owners are optimistic. I think consumer confidence is actually, pretty strong. And by the way, where's the inflation? Like, where's this horrible inflation that CNN and all these other knuckleheads were talking about, right? I mean, it's really not there, right? And a lot of it is because, look, one thing that Donald Trump understood beautifully is the word leverage. He understood that we are the world's largest consumption economy. The other economies around the world cannot live without the American consumer. And so that gives us tremendous leverage to renegotiate and try to get to fair trade. I know right now we don't even have free trade, right? But at least a more fair trade system, and give American workers and American companies the opportunity to sell more of their goods abroad. And so, look,
right.
I think this is going to be a booming back half.
So, Alfredo, just a couple minutes left. First of all, how do people find out more about Job Creators Network?
Well, it's really easy, jobcreatorsnetwork.com. And if they already like what they hear already, go to joinjcn.com. That's joinjcn.com. Yeah. We are looking for small business owners to be what we call our small business advocates. We really provide the platform and the megaphone for them to tell their stories. And you know why it's so important, Steve, for folks to do this? Our small business owners to tell their great stories, because they're the most trusted institution in this country, even more so than the military, right? They're the most trusted institution.
That's amazing.
And so we need some freedom fighters. We need some brave small businesses to be our small business advocates and to speak on on behalf of this great economy that Trump is laying out for us.
Last question for you, Alfredo. Let's say you were to go meet with the president next week, and I know you have a lot of interaction with the folks at the White House. And if you could tell the president one thing about what he needs to do to help small businesses right now, what would you tell him?
Well, right now, we really need to get those rates down. So I know he has been trying with Powell, and, I don't know what to do there to get Powell to understand. But we need those rates down because, first of all, like I said, if you can get credit, right, because access to credit right now for small business owners is still tough. It hasn't gotten better since COVID. It has not. But then they're also paying high rates, right? So they want to make those investments that they can from the one big beautiful bill. But to get the loan is really tough. And then when they get it, they're paying high interest rates, right? So we really have to get that. That is really holding the economy back. And I just don't know, honestly, Steve, what more can we do to shake Powell and make him understand, get that through his thick skull, that we got to get these rates down?
Well, you know what we can do? We can get rid of him. The sooner the better.
We got to put you in. We got to put you
there
in.
You go. Right. Well, that's Alfredo Ortiz. He's the wonderful CEO of Job Creators Network.